Hi, gang, you're listening to Burlesque Unleashed, and my name is Dinah.
And I'm Isla Storm, and here we dive into the latest dilemmas, deliberations, and dramas in the burlesque world.
And we talk about different topics every month and share our views on them.
First, though, we have a little snippet of news. Mixed Burlesque UK is back. That's very exciting. Applications
Yeah.
are open, but they're closing very soon, I believe.
Yeah, I think you said June 8th,
Yeah,
9th, 8th.
so you have a few days left to get your applications in.
Yeah, and you should. We, up here in Scotland, we ran one in 2019,
I
which I
think
think
that's
is
the
the last,
last UK one as
I
well.
think that was the last UK one as well, yeah. Um, I got to be a stage manager at the Scottish one and be involved in the organisation of it and stuff. It's so much fun. It's such a good show. It's such a good night. And I think you were saying the applications are you need to submit a video, but then you can just like describe your
Yeah, you
acts.
don't have to actually submit the acts that you're performing, it says as well. It's just like, show us your performance standard.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
And the categories have changed, so it's striptease and unique, and obviously the parade, like the curtain parade
yeah.
thing at the start. Um, yes, this hello, wave like queen. But it's no longer. It used to be classic with classic music, and that was
Traditional,
always
I think, was the, but
that's
it
it.
was like it had to be from like the 20s to the 50s or something. It was vintage style to vintage music essentially,
Hmm.
whereas now it's just striptease focused, but with any era, which I think is cool.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like it opens it up a lot more.
Mm.
Um, because I got the impression
Especially
some people. Sorry.
no, just especially with the music thing, because I've seen some very, what I would class as a very traditional burlesque act, but it might be to more modern music. I have acts myself that are very, like, if you turn the music off, you're like, that's a traditional act.
Hmm.
Oh, but the music is
Yeah.
70s or 80s, so it then disqualifies it. So, I think, so I know there's a school of thought that like just music makes something neo, but I don't ascribe to that, and apparently neither does Evelyn's.
Yeah. Well,
So we
Evelyn was
live.
like your teacher, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with Evelyn.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is I get the impression that maybe previously people took acts they had to more modern songs and put them to older
mm,
songs.
Modified them.
Um, so it makes sense to not have to do that anymore. But yes, applications are open, get them in. The competition is in September. I think it's the 20th of September.
10th, I think, was it?
We suck at dates, man. That's all I'm gonna say. We
We were
suck
like,
at
we should
this.
check this before we. It is. I'm looking it up now because we can't spread misinformation on the internet. That's like illegal and shit.
Yeah, well, you say that.
Well,
Plenty of people
you
do it all
you
the
are
time.
correct. It is the 20th of September. Shut me up.
20th of September. So even if you don't get in, still check it out, get tickets, go and see it. I think it'll be good.
Definitely. I think we've had a lack of like high level burlesque competitions in the UK since this one hasn't been around.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of newbie competitions, but it's great to be
Hmm.
able to see a more professional level.
Hmm.
Because yeah, normally we have to go international for that, which is,
Yeah.
let's bring it
I'm
home.
excited. I'm excited to see who gets
Yeah.
in. So
But
yeah,
that's not what
do
we're
that.
talking about today.
No, it's not. It's not. It's Pride Month.
It is Pride
And
Month.
it is Pride Month. And people may not be aware, but neither of us are straight. Shock horror, I'm sure. We're imagine being in cabaret and not being straight.
Queers in the cabaret, what?
So we thought that we would talk a little bit about pride, about being bisexual, about performing in queer spaces, all those kind of lovely things, especially as people who both present as heterosexual relationships, because you
Yeah.
married a man.
I married a man 10 years ago. It was our anniversary the other day. We are filming this in May.
Yeah. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. I was working.
I mean, yeah, this is 10 years. You don't give a shit anymore, do you
Yeah.
know?
Well, we looked at like, how there's like traditional presents that you're supposed to
Hmm.
do. 10 years is tin.
Oh.
We actually bought tinnies on the way home, little Jane tins. We're like, there's your tin anniversary, shut up. I think year six is like candy or something. I'm like, why is 10 tin? That's terrible.
Oh, that is terrible.
Right? That's not a good present.
No.
Anyway.
Mm. The only one I know is like a year, which is paper.
Yeah.
I said I started that sentence so confidently and then got to the
No,
end and went, but
it is
yeah.
paper.
So, like, I suppose what's your kind of experience of, yeah, presenting a heterosexual relationship and being a big old bisexual?
Being all bisexual.
A big old
Well,
bisexual.
I feel like it's something that I'm still like, I don't talk about it all that much, and I'm still kind of learning to embrace. You know what I mean? I feel like I've discovered more of it through burlesque. Or not even
Mm,
through burlesque, but I think just through being around other people in the burlesque sphere and learning that actually there's quite a lot of it about.
yeah.
There's a lot of people who may be, cis females that are in relationships with cis men who are bisexual,
Mm-hmm.
and that your relationship status or your relationship history doesn't necessarily define you.
Yep.
That's still something that I find quite difficult to navigate.
Mm,
And I think it's that thing of we're always worried about what other people are going to think, or we're worried about what spaces we are allowed to occupy, I suppose, or
yep.
what spaces we deserve to occupy. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm very aware that in a straight presenting relationship, like I've not had to, like, we can walk down the street holding hands, we can kiss in public, we can, be affectionate. We've never experienced prejudice because of our relationship
Yep.
in the way that more visibly queer relationships would.
Yep.
So yeah, it's still something that, like, I'm still figuring out. I'm still like not quite sure how I categorize it myself, but maybe that's just that, like, comp het thing that was drilled
Yeah.
into me from a young age, and like I've only ever dated men.
Mm,
I've never really explored that side of myself because I feel like I was with my husband, like, we've been together for 16 years. Like,
yeah.
we were little babies. We were like 21, 22 when we got together.
Children.
So yeah, like, and you do so much developing in your 20s.
Mm-hmm.
But like, we love each other very much. We don't seek things outside of our relationship. So it's kind of a weird one that I'm like, there's this whole side of my identity that I'm aware is there. I haven't really explored it. I don't have that much desire to explore it because
You're happy?
I'm happy, but at the same
Mm,
time, yeah, it's sometimes like, am I like denying a part of myself? I don't know. Am I like not living
yeah.
authentically by not talking about it a lot or by not exploring it? Yeah.
No, I get it. Like, I think I, I'm kind of like, I knew I was bi really young. Um, like, I remember, like, watching The L Word as, like, a young teenager and, like, crushing, like, hell on half of the characters. Like, it's never really been an issue. I've kind of explored all that, but there is still an element of me that sometimes feels not uncomfortable using the word, but like because I've been like me and Alan have been together 12 years now,
Mm.
and before that, I was in a long-term relationship with another. Well, I don't know if you can call him a man. Trash. Um,
I was aware I used the word men, and I was like, I don't date men, I date little stupid boys, but
yeah, trash, trash that identified
trash.
as male. Um, but so yeah, there's sometimes an element of like I perform a lot in queer spaces, as I'm sure you do as
Yeah.
well. And sometimes there's that element of like, yes, I am queer, so like there is a space for me, but also am I queer enough?
Yeah.
That's maybe the question. Like,
Mm-hmm.
am I queer enough to be here?
Yeah. I
And
feel that a
that's
lot.
yeah, and there's a host in Glasgow who she has a tendency to always, sorry, they have a tendency to always introduce me as like they'll mention that I'm bisexual in my bio, and they'll always check with me. They're like, "Is it okay if I say that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, that's fine." But there's also a part of me that's like, it feels like I'm justifying my existence in that space by having to
Yeah.
tell everyone that I'm bisexual, which is
Mm-hmm.
also another thing where, again, not, I don't hide it, I don't shy away from it, like anything like that, but also, should I have to declare it to be there?
Yeah, it almost feels sometimes like, and I'm not saying this is the case, but it can feel like you have to define yourself in order to feel like you're allowed to be there,
Mm-hmm.
or that it's going to be accepted that, yeah, you're there because it is a space for you as a queer person.
Yeah, it's a very,
Which feels so exclusionary because it's like, well, lots of people are still figuring shit out. So is it like, can I not go to these spaces until I've like decided?
but I definitely think that's in our heads. I don't actually think
Yeah.
people treat us like that, but it's definitely how it can feel.
Mm,
Um, and and as well as a lot of people talk about, you see people talking online, particularly like in the States, where obviously, or in other countries where being gay or being openly gay, as you talked about, like you're a lot more likely to face discrimination. Even here, you're
mm.
more like you can
Yeah, it's
face a
getting
lot of
worse
it.
here.
Or it's getting worse here. And they're kind of talking about their struggles, and they're like, we need other queer people to back us up. And there's an element of like, yes, I do back them up, but like, am I queer enough? It's
Mm,
so strange. It's such an odd feeling.
yeah, Roma agrees. Don't know
Oh,
if you
your
can hear
cat
her
definitely a good.
yelling from the hallway.
Was that Ripley being like, yes, you're queer enough?
No, it's just Roma doing her old lady. Oh, here she comes. She just sits in the hallway and has a little howl every now and again. I'm like, are you
Fair.
lost? Yeah, I find it difficult to like. I want to feel part of the community if that's open to me, but I also want to
Hmm.
be a good ally to
Hmm.
um, the more sort of marginalized members of the community.
Hmm.
But then, and I feel this with a lot of things, not necessarily just like queer identity and things like that. It is that thing of like, oh, am I qualified to speak on this?
Yeah.
Even as an ally, being like, I'm supporting these people and they need their safe spaces and they need to be treated, you know, well. You sometimes feel like, oh, yeah, is this a space for me to speak on or should I shut up? How do I support these people
Hmm.
without
It
overstepping something?
it's such a hard thing to navigate and know.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the nicest things about coming into burlesque is the number of bisexual women in long-term heterosexual relationships.
So many.
So many, which is nice. Um, it is nice because you're like, right, okay, cool. Like we're all kind of in the same boat,
Mm,
to some extent, and it's just nice to feel like, all right, I'm not an anomaly or whatever.
yeah.
But and maybe that is because we feel safe to embrace that side of us because you're in the like burlesque, cabaret, whatever is very queer heavy.
Yeah. I definitely find it harder to talk, and I wouldn't say I don't talk about it, but I sort of just drop things in and test the waters when I'm around not queer people
Mm-hmm.
or outside of queer spaces, outside of cabaret spaces,
Mm-hmm.
where even if I don't know the identities of people, if it's people I don't know very well, I feel safe to talk about it and I feel safe to be more open about it, which again, that does speak to we know that it isn't entirely safe to be even bisexual in a, you know, cis het relationship
Yeah.
with other straight people with straight people because they often don't get it.
Or it's that just fucking usual nonsense in it, like, oh, do you have a third, or
Yeah.
um,
Could you
like
just not choose, not decide?
yeah, that kind of shit as well. Like it's stuff that you're like, are we still doing this?
Yeah.
Really? I am not a big person for labels, so like I don't
Mm.
particularly feel a large draw to the label either. Like I'm attracted to who I'm attracted to, and that's
Yeah.
fine. Like we grew up where it was bisexual was the term because we're
Hmm.
like the same, roughly the same age, so that's what it is. Um, but I don't necessarily feel like a strong link to that label, so I don't necessarily feel the need to say it. Sometimes, like,
Yeah.
I'll just say to someone, like, oh my God, they're so hot. And they're like, oh, so you like them. So I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
But we were
Instead of,
also, I feel like, again, this is our age thing that was like, oh, that's just normal. Girls just do that. That doesn't mean you're a lesbian. That doesn't mean you're bi. That just girls just find other girls. Everyone finds girls attractive, and that's just normal.
yeah, and then you meet someone who goes, no, I've never
Well,
been attracted
no.
to a girl. And you're like,
Yeah.
really?
I was like, oh, I thought everyone did this.
Yeah, yeah. So, yes.
But again, because it's so ingrained that it's like, no, don't explore that side of yourself. They're like, no, no, that's just a thing. It's a phase. You'll grow out of it. Like, everybody does that. But actually, you'll only be with men.
Do you remember like 2020, 2021? There was a whole bit on TikTok where basically women were unpicking comp het and the amount
Mm-hmm.
of them that left their long-term male relationships and
Yeah.
realized that actually they were screaming lesbians
Yeah.
and they were all scared to have a lovely time. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is great.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden everyone was talking to each other and it's like, no, actually that's not normal.
Yeah,
Or
like if
this
you
isn't
feel
this
that
or
that's part of you, that's not just a thing that'll just waft away.
hmm. And so
If you
many people were
if you
like,
want to dig
oh.
into it, go dig into it. Have a lovely time.
Yeah. And loads of them did, and then they were gay, and it was all these people that were in like their 30s came out as gay, and it was fucking great.
Yeah. Do you think again it comes from like traditional like just not allowing women to be whole people and assuming we would have to rely on a man?
Well, something
And
that
it's
I
like,
talk about a lot is the fact that women couldn't have credit cards until the 80s. You couldn't have
yeah,
bank
that's
accounts on
wild.
your own until like the 80s. So, female only relationships couldn't really exist
You
because you
couldn't do
couldn't
anything.
survive.
Yeah.
You physically, like, obviously they did exist, but it was extremely difficult because, like,
Yeah.
you couldn't get like even getting property, renting a flat, like all of that was extremely difficult
Yeah, how are you meant to
without,
live?
yeah, without a man to
Mm.
cover it. Um, so I think, and obviously we grew up in what the 90s.
Yeah.
So there was in the early 2000s. So there was still that expectation of, well, you'll end up with a man because you have to, when actually that had changed and you didn't
Yeah,
have
but
to.
it takes a while to filter through, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think we forget that. Like, it wasn't actually that long before us that women could not be financially independent. And we're going to go off on a slight tangent, but this is one of my favorite things to talk about as well, is I think we see the rise of the male loneliness epidemic, which I fucking hate that term because it's
They're
just
not
men
fucking
being
lonely
shite.
enough.
And they're not lonely enough. But I think that's come about because women, for the first time, can be financially independent, and therefore a man has to add to your life to
Yeah.
be with them.
Yeah.
And most men our age grew up with that expectation that they'll get married and they'll have a kid, and they don't actually need to fucking
Yeah,
try
they don't need to
because
try because it'll just come to them.
that's how it's always been. That's what happened with like they're
Oh
kind
my
of going,
god.
oh, their dad and their granddad and everything. They didn't have to really try. They didn't have to impress
No, it
like
was
their
just the
wife or look
default. It
after
would
their
just
wife.
come
It
to
was
them.
because they didn't have a choice. Now women are
Yeah.
going, well, actually, I can just look after myself. I don't need you. And
Yeah.
that's the problem. Women, for the first time in history, have the opportunity to say, I do not need you in my life.
Yeah, I can choose to
Hmm.
have you in my life or not. I
Yeah.
can, and again, like you say, women either in relationships with other women or just staying single. You don't
Yep.
need a man financially. You don't need a man for support. You often they're draining. They're really a lot of
I love my
work
human, but Jesus Christ.
because let's face it, the women that raised them grew up with women not being able to be independent. Like we're literally talking about our parents and grandparents
Yeah.
that raised the men that are now wanting to date women our age.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't learned to be functioning adults because
Yeah.
they would just get a wife and the wife would do things for them because that's what their mums did for their dad.
Mm-hmm. Because their mums didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that, so then now we've got this kind of, everyone's like, oh, everyone's gay these days.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, because they can be.
Yeah. Without
People don't have to
ruining their
squash it
like
down
chances
anymore.
of, yeah, exactly. They can just be who they are
Mm-hmm.
and be a functioning adult. They're not like stunted in their, ability to, yeah, just have a functioning life and a career and
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think that's one of the reasons you probably see we saw that rise as
Yeah.
well, and people realizing that in general. And I suppose, do you like go to Pride or anything like that? Have you ever done that?
Yeah, I've been to Pride when I was still part of when I used to work at Battersea, the cat and dog home. They
Nice.
have a team that goes and they're part of the march every year.
Cute.
So I did that one of the years with some of the others from the team, and that was really fun. But again, I was like, I'd never put myself forward for it before because I didn't know if I was like if it was for me or if I was like allowed.
Mm.
And I kind of, even when I asked, because they were putting out a thing and they were like, last chance if anyone, wants to join the march, let us know. And I was like, oh, I would like to, but only if there's spaces, like if there's other people that want those spaces or need them more. Like we had openly gay
Mm.
members. There was, one of our clinic team was trans. Like I was like, I'm very aware there's people that need to be on that march more than I do. Like even asking was so apologetic. And she emailed me back being like, we've got loads of spaces, come.
I went to, so technically I performed at Pride before I went to Pride. So Ride and
Mm-hmm.
Room have a Pride party every year, and in 2019 I performed there as part of like the troupe I was with, and it was so much fun. Basically spent the whole day there, had the best fucking time. Um, and then 2 years ago went on a march with my friends in Edinburgh, and then we done Glasgow because Glasgow have their marches in July, and
Mm.
Edinburgh has their march in June. Um, and then I did the same. I don't think I went to the Edinburgh one last year because I couldn't, but I went to Glasgow one last year, and I'm going to go to Glasgow one this year. But it's taken me to find friends that will go as well.
Yeah.
And again, most of the women that I go with are bisexual.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like in the pole community and stuff.
Yeah,
Again,
that's
like
the thing.
pole
Like
and cabaret.
when I've
Yeah.
been in attendance, I've gone with, I think it was Faye was performing on one of the stages and I went with some other cabaret friends.
Hmm.
And then yeah, the time that I was part of it was because it was with work.
Yeah.
So I knew I was going to be with other people that like
Hmm.
I don't know, it was like safety in numbers.
Yeah. Like you always want to go with at least a friend, but I think the first time I went, I'd never went, even though I'd seen it every year, and like technically I could, but I just never
Mm,
felt like, again, is that for me? And then like a bunch of people I knew were
yeah.
going, and they were like, "Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." It took me to find people that were going anyway, and they were like, "Do you want to come?" And
Yeah.
I was like, "Yes, please. I've never been." And
Yeah.
that's a common thing. Like I took my friend to her first one last year, and she's a
Hmm.
little bit older than me, and she'd never been to one. And again, it was just not having people that go.
Yeah.
Um, but I definitely think you find more people like that in the cabaret scene. Everyone's fucking queer.
Yeah.
It's great.
It is great. But
Like,
that's another thing is like just talking about attending Pride, but actually performing at like Pride
mm,
gigs or like designated queer shows.
yeah.
I still don't feel comfortable applying to them.
I don't either. See if they're like, oh, we're looking for like LGBTQIA plus or whatever. I'm always a bit like,
I don't think this is for me.
yeah, I'm always a bit like, I'm a mid-sized white woman who's quite
Mm.
privileged and is in a straight presenting relationship. Am I really what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's the thing. And I'm like, I don't struggle to get gigs because of the way I present, you
Yeah,
know?
and then none of my acts are, I don't really have like a queer act as well. Like
Mm,
I know performers who have, so Debbie Deluxe up here is pansexual, again another pansexual woman who's married to a man.
mm,
But she has a pansexual act that I know she does at like Pride and at the riding rooms and stuff like that. And I know there's Bliss Wild has a like a bisexual coloured one.
mm.
So like they've kind of chosen to make acts that represent their sexuality, which is great. Love it.
I keep accidentally doing that, apparently.
Oh
Like
yeah, bisexual
my
colours. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
my Venus, the
Uh-huh.
bra is literally like the bi flag.
Yes.
And touch too much. I think it was actually when I was up in Glasgow last time, and I did riding rooms, and they had the Barbie box up in Polo, and I
Yeah.
took pictures in the Barbie box. So I'm in this purple and blue costume in the pink box.
Yeah.
And someone commented, I think it was Elena Black, was like, "Oh my god, I just got that this costume is the bi flag." She's like, "That's so clever," and I was like, "That was completely unintentional."
You're
But
like, no, I'm
yeah,
taking that. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, "So it is." And I think I used that. I think that was the first time that I kind of, because it was summertime, it was around bride season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is the first time, or one of the first times, that I like put it on my socials.
Mm.
I put a picture of that up and I put the little hearts in the bi-colours and was
Oh,
like, happy
cute.
bride. Because I'm so like cryptic about everything. I can't just be like, this is my identity. I'm like, by the way. Or there was an I think I'd done one on my stories the year before, and it was a picture that Lena took of me in like 80s blue and purple lighting,
Yes.
and I was just like, eh.
I've definitely done the thing, you know, that Medianoche does in Pride every year where she does every
Mm-hmm.
colour. I did that, but it was the Pride colours and sorry, it was the bi colours and put them like in a row. But I've
Yeah,
also never been particularly fucking quiet about
no.
the fact that I'm like, you're attractive. Um but also I always make a joke when it's bi visibility day where I'm like, oh no, I'm visible for a day. I can't commit any gay crimes.
I am a
Like
ghost the rest of
yeah.
the year.
The rest of the time I'm like, ah, be gay and commit crimes. You can't see me. It's fine. Um, I always make a joke on the bi visibility day. It's always like,
Yeah.
mm. But yeah, it's such a large amount of our work is in queer venues and queer
Yeah.
spaces. There's so many like amazing performers who are openly queer, which is amazing as well. I think it's really opening. I think for a lot of people, they it can be a way to find your sexuality through burlesque as well.
Yeah.
Like you talked about that at the start.
Yeah, even not just through, well, because like everyone in burlesque is gorgeous. So you do find yourself more often being like, um,
Hmm.
but it was more again the conversations and like just being on, in that social media bubble of performers where you
Hmm.
do see people talking more openly about it. Whereas like I'm from a small town in the borders, and
Mm.
like growing up I had a friend who was very obviously gay but was like in the closet about it for the longest time, and people would bully him and I would like defend him like a
Mm.
little warrior being like, shut up, no he's not. And it's like he very obviously was. He's like
Yeah,
super super camp, super gay. And once he left, and became a dancer, obviously.
obviously.
Like he's fully been able to embrace that side of his identity, but at school he got bullied because
Yeah.
it was not the normal thing. Whereas in the spaces that we run, it very much is normal. Everybody, and it does make me wonder, how, is heterosexuality the default, or were we just told it was the default?
Oh,
Do
it
you know
was
what I mean?
definitely told. De and
Are there
again, I
still
think that
so
links
many
back to
people? Yeah.
it definitely links back to the fact that you couldn't fucking survive as a woman without a man for so long because they
Mm,
physically made it impossible for you to do.
yeah.
Um, I remember you talking about in high school. I remember having an argument in my fifth year, so I'd have been 16, 17.
Hmm.
And I was talking to this boy, who I was kind of friends with, we sort of ran around and he was basically talking about how like lesbians are hot, but gay two men together is disgusting, blah, 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 usual shite.
Mm.
And we're in art class and we're just sitting drawing and we're having this conversation and it got more and more heated on my part to the point where I ended up just being like, well, I'm bisexual, so you know, what do you think of me then? Is it just, oh, it's hot because it's with another woman? Straight after I said that, I realised the whole fucking class had went quiet because they'd evidently been listening to us. So I just accidentally outed myself in front of the whole class, and I was like, oh well,
Casual.
fucking care. Yeah, but that's always been a thing as well. You're only kissing that girl for that boy's attention and all that
Mm.
bullshit as well that you
Yeah.
grew up with, and you're like,
Yeah. And like I guess the fetishization of it from the straight men.
uh-huh.
Because what
Yep.
straight guy hasn't even in jest been like, oh yeah, threesome? But as soon as you be like, great, yeah, I know a guy, they're like, oh no.
That's the best response.
Yeah,
That is the
sorry,
best.
I thought you wanted a threesome.
Oh, you were
Thought you'd
just
never ask.
assuming.
Yeah. Mm, mm.
Mm. Yeah. People are. Ugh. This has just turned into like ooh men. We are stereotypical bisexual women with
Yeah.
men. We were just like ooh men.
Yeah. Not this man. This man is sweet. We like this man. The rest of them.
The rest of them are trash.
What is it that is it Bed Knobs and Broomsticks? No, it's Mary
Hmm?
Poppins, is it not? Though we adore men individually, we agree that as a group they're rather stupid.
Oh yeah, that's pretty accurate to be fair.
Facts.
Yeah, it would be. It's just it's just kind of sometimes interesting to, especially when Pride Month comes around, as you said, looking at like all the kind of applications for Pride people and all this kind of stuff, and just I tend to not see a lot of us free roaming bisexuals bothering to like apply. We just kind of go,
Yeah. Because again, I think we are some of we are somewhat the default for burlesque, right?
yeah,
Because traditional burlesque, it's, exaggeration of femininity. It's AFAB women
yeah,
presenting as bombshells, as,
hmm,
femme fatales, all that kind of stuff. It's all very, very cis femme coded.
yeah,
Even though we have trans legends.
yeah. I know. It's still it's not really
But
considered.
again, it's femme presenting, wasn't it? So if you don't
Yes.
present femme on stage,
Hmm.
and they would be very often very passing trans femmes,
Hmm.
I think you'd struggle more if you were more visibly trans.
Yeah. And also just even if you are super femme, like look at Frankie Fictitious.
Mm,
Very, very, very hyper feminine on stage a lot of the
yeah.
time. Um, Openly gay, runs like the lesbian, glitterati, like
Mm-hmm.
they can still do that. And if they had to go and apply for like a gay, like an LGBTQ show or whatever, a pride show, everyone would just be like, yeah, of course, because they are like
Yeah.
very open, obviously.
Yeah.
That feels fine. And like anyone else who's like Gina Starlin, very much like I'm a lesbian,
Yeah.
you wouldn't blink
Medianoche.
about it, but for some
Yeah.
reason, because we're bi, it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's not for you.
Yeah, someone help us unpack it. Because it's not
Yeah.
that because we
Yeah, that is
love.
interesting because, like you say, all those examples you're thinking of, they wouldn't struggle to get gigs because of the in non-queer spaces because
Hmm.
of the way they present,
Hmm.
because they're very gorgeous women. But none of us blink an eye at them
If they
doing
were on like a
because
Pride lineup, you'd be like, yeah, of
obviously,
course.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it's all in our
Yeah.
heads.
I think it is. I think we've come to the summary that we worry that we are not queer enough. I think that's probably what it is.
And that's the thing. I guess you never know until you do it and then potentially face backlash, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the
And
fear. That's the
then what do you
fear.
have to do? Go online and be like, yeah, I'm actually bisexual. Here's a list of fucking women I've slept with. Like, or you haven't, but that doesn't mean you're not bisexual.
It's
Like,
yeah.
you don't want to have to go down that route either.
And that's the thing, I think we get into a danger with a lot of different things, in obviously diversity of castings is so important, representation is so important, but I do see
Hmm.
people questioning people's eligibility for things.
Yeah.
We've had it with ethnic diversity where it's like, oh, is this person black enough, or is is that somebody's true identity? I've seen people on likes of the Bit and Peach lineups being like, oh, but I am half Asian. It just
Yeah.
I don't I present more white. There's
Yeah.
and again people who are passing trans, for example, or there's any number of things where somebody might not be like the most visibly whatever the category is, but they still are. So
Yeah.
they are still entitled to that space.
Hmm.
And I think there's a real danger of questioning or like asking people to define their identity in ways that like that's personal shit, man. Like you just shouldn't have to do it.
You shouldn't have to blast it all over your socials. It's a similar
No.
thing happening in the pole community around like their sex worker only events.
Yeah.
Or they have events where they say everyone's can apply, but we particularly would like to hear from sex workers.
Mm.
And some of them say like you don't have to like a lot of them are kind of putting a thing being like you don't have to out yourself
Because
to be
that's a
in it.
danger,
But then
isn't
if it's
it?
a sex worker only event, you kind of are
Mm.
out in yourself. Or even if it's a mixed event, there's then and then some people being like, well, they shouldn't be teaching that class because they're not out they're not posting all over their social media about how they're working at the club, but they might actually be working at the club. They're just doing it privately.
Some people
Like they
have to
don't
for
blast it on this.
safety. A lot of
Yeah.
people have to for safety.
Yeah, but there's this whole thing in pole about you shouldn't be teaching like stripper style pole or exotic
Mm.
pole, whatever you want to call it, if you're not a stripper.
Hmm.
But then you just like someone doesn't post about being a stripper doesn't mean they're not a stripper. And
Yeah.
that's like people are getting attacked for teaching it when actually they do work in clubs, they just don't talk about it.
Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? It's like you're actually threatening people's safety by because you're trying to stick up for the legitimacy of who needs that slot,
Hmm.
whether it's teaching or performing or whatever. But then you're also putting that person in danger
Yeah.
by making them prove that they deserve to be doing what they're doing.
Yeah. And the same as like there's probably people out there who are bisexual or queer in some way, will in whatever their identity is, who
Mm.
maybe can't be out and out about it because of like family or whatever,
Yeah,
but
religion,
still
things like
want
that.
yeah, but maybe still
Yeah,
want to be in these events and like feel like they can't apply because they're not all over their socials shouting
yeah.
about their relationship status or whatever.
Or like I say, people that are exploring things that are like, I'm not quite
Hmm.
sure where I sit on this yet, but there's, I'm drawn to this because there's something about me that doesn't click with, the kind of societal norms.
Yeah.
um, does that mean that until they have fully gone, yes, this is my identity, this is exactly how I want to present, this is the label that I would put on myself, they're
And then blast that
excluded?
label all over the fucking internet because
Yeah,
apparently
because,
that's the only way it counts.
well, exactly. It's like it's none of anyone's business.
No. That's the like it's such a weird one. Every year when Pride comes round, I go as I said and I have a lovely time, but there is always a little element of me that's like, uh, is this for me?
Mm.
Um, maybe we should just apply to Pride shows.
Well, yeah, I mean, there is a thing of like, it's up to the producer, right?
Hmm.
It's not up to us to decide whether
I've
we.
never seen a bisexual show. Oh, can we produce a bisexual show?
There's bi pride.
Is that?
Mm-hmm.
Have I missed this?
Mm-hmm.
Is it
Is it a
a
London
London
thing?
thing?
There's definitely bi pride.
That's the bi flag I'm Googling. That's not the right thing.
I'm sure they did a call out for performers not long ago.
Yeah, Bi Pride is a
Hmm.
thing. What is a thing? Saturday, I was in August.
There you go.
It is London.
Hmm.
But still,
Yeah. Maybe we are legit. We have our own pride.
they're actually looking for performers for the main stage on their website.
Told you. Again, I
So
saw that and I went, oh, I don't know
it's
if that's
fucking
for
Bi Pride.
me.
You literally fit the bill, mate.
I was like, oh.
Like, oh, oh. Uh,
Because
yeah,
again,
they're looking.
because it feels like in certain spheres you're asked to like qualify
Hmm.
your status for that. That I'm like, well, if you were to pick it apart, I've never dated a woman, so, and I'm married to a
Doesn't mean
man.
you're. Yeah, but
Do you
you
know what I
know
mean?
yourself. You know that you're still bi.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, isn't that gross that it's literally by pride? It's literally just for the exact category that defines us. And I'm still
Hmm.
like, oh, am I bi enough?
Yeah. Yeah. You can apply to that. It's London.
Okay, thanks, I will.
Yeah, you should. You've literally talked about how you accidentally have acts that are the bi colours.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh-huh. Like when you made the logo and you've picked blue and purple, mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just gonna look at you.
Has this just been my subliminal messaging? I'm like, I won't talk about it, but everything's blue and purple.
Everything. It's like a dash of pink. And they're just feeling like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should summarize this episode with you should apply to Bi Pride.
That was not the point
And
of this episode, but I'll take it.
yeah, that's where we've got. And we should stop questioning whether or not we are queer enough.
Yeah.
And also,
Whether
if
you're
anyone else,
anything enough, just what you
yeah,
identify as is what it is. We, I mean, I was going to say we don't struggle, decent people don't struggle to accept that there are visible and invisible disabilities, for example,
hmm,
and there are open and less open levels of queerness.
yeah.
That's fine.
And if anyone out there has unpicked their own "Am I queer enough?" and they're a bisexual woman and they would like to give us tips, please slide into our
Yeah, if
inboxes.
you have the answers, we would love them.
We would love that because apparently in this conversation we've realized that we both weirdly don't think that we're enough.
Mm.
Hmm.
Wow. Therapy by podcast.
I feel like that's turning into every one of these episodes.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Do you feel about that? Sweet. Have you got anything to plug? You've got another show in September, right?
We do have another show in September. 6th of September is Clandestine. Whoop whoop. Um, cast to be announced.
It's going to be exciting. I don't think I have anything. We still have our Patreon. I've not been very good at keeping it up to date, I won't lie. Obviously, please do tell us if there's any topics you want us to cover. And as always, a few people have done this anyway, but if you ever hear any of anything we chat about and you want to like talk to us about it more, if it resonates or
Yeah,
whatever,
follow up questions or comments. We love
slide
it.
into our DMs. Like we both love having conversations after these go out.
Yeah.
Like genuinely. There's some fun ones. But yeah, enjoy Pride Month, gang, and
Yeah,
we
happy
will
Pride, everyone.
happy Pride, and we will see you next month.
Bye.
Bye.